Man, I love that song. Hey, everybody. Ron Onesti here with you, hanging and banging on a Thursday night, as we do each week for the last 50 weeks. I am here in St. Charles, Illinois, outside of Chicago at Rock and Roll Heaven, the Arcana Theater, and with my brothers on Artists on Lockdown each week. We're approaching the 52nd episode of 1 year, and let's bring him on right now. I think it's my lateral brother, not younger, not older, I think. Vinny Appice. There he is, Black Sabbath, Last in Line.
We're the
Wait,
same
I'm not done.
age? We're the same
let's
age?
see. I think so. I just turned 59, and you look a lot older, but I think you're...
Yeah, 16 and a half Celsius. Get your calculator out.
I don't know, Celsius. Well, you go to England a lot. You know what? I'm gonna ask Smiley about that because I think they do Celsius out there when you come on. We got Smiley Barnard tonight from the Alarm, and
I was just checking my package I got from Amazon. This is what I bought here.
Would you?
Awesome. This is so useful. I should have got one a long time ago.
A shoehorn.
It's a shoehorn.
You got a shoehorn. That's what you got today. You have
Look at
no
that.
idea. There's two things, the greatest inventions on the planet. The shoehorn and something similar to that, the crumb scooper. You know when you're at a restaurant and the server comes around and cleans the table with the crumb scoop. Those are the two best inventions on the planet.
But,
and I
but
can't believe...
the crumb thing is illegal in California.
How? Oh, that's right. I gotcha.
Everything's illegal in California.
Hey, you know what? I've been thinking about our older brother here, our more mature brother, I think.
The guy with the white hair?
That's what I was going to say. He's got... So, I don't know if you remember FBI. Do you remember FBI, that TV show?
Yeah.
Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.? I think this is who he's trying to...
What kind of name was F? What the hell is that?
Ephraim. Well, you know what? I don't know.
Like
but he had
a curse.
He had great hair, and now let's bring, you know him from, of course, Vanilla Fudge, legendary icon drummer. Come on, Carmine, up there. Look at him. The FBI.
Hey, I got long hair.
Ephraim
I got
Zimbalist
long
Jr.
hair, dude. I got long hair.
No, but I love the salt and pepper thing. It was
That's
purple.
looking better now with the salt and pepper thing.
Yeah. You know, it's just it's a work of, it's like a work in progress hair.
You look.
I mean,
good.
you guys don't
like
know that, but
I thought you put purple in it. You putting purple in it?
not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. I'm letting
Oh,
it grow. I gotta get it cut so it would hang good. It's so damn thick, my hair. I got so much hair that it's hanging too back.
I think Ron has that problem too.
I do, and when I
Right?
wear thongs, it really sticks out. But for the most part, it's
Underwear
just all
or
over
shoes? Underwear or shoes?
shoes. I
don't wanna see
got
the
the
underwear.
hairiest toes.
Jesus.
But you look good, Carm. I mean, you look like, I'm telling you look like some psychologist, psychoanalyst. I should feel like you should be laying on the couch and telling me my
I look
problems.
like an actor now. I'm going to be in the movies. I'm going to be in all the mafia movies.
Well, why don't you just act like a freaking drummer like you should, okay? Let's just do that.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this.
He is.
He is acting like one.
There we go. All
He
right.
is. Now you ask for it.
Oh. For the next 22 minutes, this
There
is
you
what's
go.
going to
Hey,
happen.
ladies and gentlemen.
And he plays the shoehorn.
Vinny plays the shoehorn.
You know why I got the shoehorn? Because you put your fingers in the shoe and you're going and you're pulling your fingers, and that can't be good for us drummers, guitar players, bass players, whatever.
Well, you know why it can't be
I've
good?
had
Because let's
I've had a
say...
shoehorn for years.
See?
But let's say
I have a
that you...
shoehorn that's that big. Seriously, it's huge. It's
All right,
for boots.
shoehorn envy right now because
It's for
mine's only
boots.
like this. So this is what I'm
for
dealing
boots.
with.
Well, I had the big one, but it bent. It came with something. It bent. So
Really?
this is
Well,
strong.
you know what?
This one's the good one.
You should get a pill. It'll clear it right
That one's
up.
bent too. That looks bent too.
That's what she said.
Hey, we could do one of two things. We could talk shoehorns for an hour, or we could bring our guests because
Bring
we
the
got
guests.
a couple of great guys, man. And we were saying this before. Like I said, it's gonna be really, really strange when I see you guys in person after doing this for a year. Before you were an act, I hired you, I paid you, you did a halfway decent job, and then that was, and then that
Hey,
was over.
I just signed your contract, by the way, for Last in Line.
Well, you had it for freaking 14 months to sign. What took you so long?
I know. I thought I'd wait.
Oh, I didn't get one.
It's coming. I want to do Drum Wars. I got to do everything. I gotta do. Are we doing the fudge thing?
Yeah, we do a fudge thing.
Let's pack
And you know what
that
I found
fudge.
out today? I found a stereo version of "You Keep Me Hanging On." It's always been mono.
How does that even exist?
There's never been a stereo. I don't know how they got this thing to make it stereo, but it had 3.4 million views on YouTube.
Did they just play it on 2 phonographs and record it? I mean, what the hell? How did
I
you?
don't know what they did. They must have taken the stuff off them. They have programs to take the instruments off. You know,
Yeah.
they probably took them all off and then they mixed it together. Unbelievable. I never heard
Well,
this before. We
Well,
recorded
you know
it
what?
mono.
Can you get to it? Can we like preview it on the show, maybe on 52 or
Well,
something?
It's YouTube, Vanilla Fudge, stereo. You keep me hanging on.
Really?
Yeah. Go
Well,
ahead.
you know what? We're keeping
Go ahead,
our
Ben.
guest,
Get it, Ben.
Get it, Ben. We're keeping our guest hanging on right now, and
All
I'm
right,
excited
good. Yeah, that's right.
to
Good-
talk to
that's
these
good.
guys. Let's bring, you know him from The Alarm and so many other things. I can't wait to talk to him because I just love the way he talks, let alone the way he plays drums. Smiley Barnard, all the way from the UK.
Smiley. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, or a reasonable facsimile
Smiley,
of
hey, Smiley.
You never look better. While we
He
wait
looks
for Smiley.
pretty good there.
Yes, well, he's just got his one eye up to the camera, really close. That's. And while we wait for Smiley, let's
He's got
bring
white
Joe-
hair like Carmine.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know who else we got in the show tonight? You know who else we got in the show tonight?
Yeah,
I
my
thought
buddy.
you did. Anyway,
Yeah,
from
my buddy.
Lizzie Board, let's bring Joey Scott. I know it's. Hey, Joey.
Hey, Joey.
Joey.
How's it going?
Joey.
Hey, what's with the blue light? What's with the blue light?
I got the.
I have a giant, huge thing with monitors and everything because computers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I have it backlit with blue lights, so it lights up everything. Kind
I
of
have
cool.
another question.
It gives you a mood while you're playing.
Wait,
Where's
let's
the,
right.
where,
Doing
look, I changed my hair, but where's the mohawk? The mohawk in the picture we had.
I'm growing it out a little bit, just that because we haven't been going anywhere or whatever, so I just let it grow out.
Okay, me too.
I let mine grow out too, and it totally grew out.
Yeah, it's getting a little long now.
Mine grew out too.
You know what? I'm so jealous.
It looks good. I like the speckle thing. It looks good.
Yeah, I did
Doesn't it
too.
look good?
Yeah, distinguished.
Very
Right.
distinguished. I'm
Yeah.
the
He
elder-
is a
elder-
drummer. He is not supposed to look respectable nor distinguished.
When you get to the legend era, then you can do
There
whatever
it
you
is.
want.
You know what? I would, if I wasn't connected, I would stand up, give you a standing ovation to be referring to him as the legend era, as opposed to get to be his age.
Actually,
I
it's
think
called the Social Security era.
It certainly is.
So, you
Yeah.
know what? I found out off camera here that you've got a great relationship with Carmine. I mean, Carmine has been a mentor to so many people in this industry, but the personal relationship with Carmine is really something. I didn't know about
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Wait, didn't you take lessons from me?
Yeah. I met you a bunch of times before that. The drum competition, with Buddy Rich and all that. I met you a
Yeah.
few times, and you did a master class at my college, CSUN,
Right.
and I met you there with Phil Chen and everything. But then years later, I think we bumped into each other at a club, and I asked you if you gave lessons. You said, "Give me a call," and I gave you a call, and then I started taking lessons, and then
Yeah, and then we hung out and we
Yeah.
got really
But
close.
what about the personal relationship?
yeah, that's the thing. It just snowballed from there. We just got
and
really
he helped start my daughter's career as a special effects person.
Yeah.
Because
And
Yeah,
your
I-
godfather to your son? Is that what it is?
Yeah. And I got different connections all over in the movie business and everything. So I was trying to help her out, and it's worked out good for her.
by the way, you'll expect the invitation in the
yeah,
mail.
we got it. We got
Yeah,
it.
you got it.
Yeah.
See,
Awesome.
The
I
wedding.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's
right?
amazing.
It's crazy, right?
Yep, and the site too.
My daughter's getting married, and she has her fiance is a special effects guy too, Ron. So
Wow.
their invitation is all like skeletons and horror movie stuff.
It's like a Lizzie Borden album cover.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is, actually. There you go. That's a good way to
That's
put it.
those special effects people. That's a whole other culture. Those people, and they
Yeah.
Well,
they live and breathe it. So
the funny thing that's going to be, you're going to go through this whole thing. You're going to walking down the aisle. You're going to go
Yeah.
to the reception. You're going to have the turkey legs and the chicken wings, whatever you have it over there. And at about 11 o'clock at night, you're going to realize the whole thing was a hologram. They're in freaking Cabo already.
Yeah, right.
could be.
Very possible. I hope I didn't blow it for him. Hey, we have another guest on tonight. We tried a little bit earlier. He's all the way from the UK, I believe. Smiley Barnard. Look
Oh,
at that.
there you
That's
go.
very cool.
There's the
There he is from the
invitation.
alarm. Hi, Smiley.
Hey, Smiley.
There he
Hey,
is.
Smiley.
Can you hear
Here's
me?
the wedding invitation.
Yeah, turn it around the other way. Turn
Oh,
it the
that's
other
cool.
way.
Turn around the other way.
Then
Not
turn
you.
No, turn it over.
Which way?
What?
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
that's not the invitation. That's just the
No, no,
invite.
Smiley, you're fine. The brothers, see, they do this. They have this conversation once in a while. It takes us way off track.
Save the
Just
date.
excuse
That's
them.
save the date.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the
Anyway.
envelope.
Yeah,
Here,
look,
here's it.
I can actually see you now.
Oh, yeah, that's
Can you hear
the
me
other
all right, gents?
That's the
Here's the
envelope.
envelope.
That's
We
the
can hear you,
envelope.
Smiley. How you doing, brother?
I'm very well, thank you, gentlemen. It's kind of midnight here, so yeah, it's a bit of techno fear, but it's all good. It's great to meet you all, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Oh, wow.
What
I
part
didn't
of
know
Jersey
I
you
feel like
calling
I'm in the
from?
midst of royalty.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I didn't know
Royalty.
you were in England. I didn't know you were in England now.
Yeah, so it's 1:15 midnight at the moment, so I'm
Yeah.
in the studio
Nice.
and trying to stay awake. Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you still awake?
Just about. Plenty of coffee.
What
Shit, I
studio-
fall asleep at like 10 o'clock here when I'm not playing. I'm watching TV or something.
Yeah.
I can vouch
10:30.
for that. I can vouch for that. I went to see Vinny a month ago. I'm watching TV, and I look over, and him and his girlfriend are like nodded out. It's like 9:30
Yeah.
at night. I said,
That's
"Whoa."
Vinny, Mr. Excitement. I bet
Yeah.
you his girlfriend's thrilled. 10
Oh,
a.m.
she
on a
fell
Saturday
asleep.
night, out cold.
It's Leslie. She fell asleep too. We both have girlfriends named Leslie,
Yeah, but yours is spelled L-E-Z.
and
Les-
his is with an S.
Mine's
So,
Leslie.
yeah.
So even the first names, it's got to be you got to go through the whole appease apathy
I had the Leslie first.
thing. You guys are
He
brutal. This is
did.
what I
He
do
did,
every
I'll
week.
own
I
up.
did.
He did.
We're
Every
we're
week,
18,
Joey.
18 years.
Joey, every week, the two brothers. I got to literally
Jeez.
come behind, get in between them. Like, guys, enough. Kids.
Oh.
So what have you guys been doing? Joey, what have you been doing this whole crazy freaking nut job closed lockdown?
When it locked down, we just realized, okay, everything's canceled. That's all done. We just said, let's go and record. So we just started working on new material and, just trying to come up with a new stuff. And also too, it was right when we were just about to release a best of. And we included we did those two cover tunes right at the beginning of the COVID. We went in and we knocked both of those out, and then released that. But in the meantime, we just kept pumping out new songs and working on new stuff to get ready. We're going to put out the release once everything opens up, and then we'll start touring again.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yep.
Are you wearing a headset with the mic?
Yep.
Did you ever try that? Do you do any drum stream or anything? Or
What do you mean?
because I'm doing a drum stream, but I wear headphones and a microphone. I have a regular microphone. I want to get something like that, but what happens is the drums are too loud through that microphone.
I've used these before. They're noise canceling, so they block out quite a bit of it. But I have another pair that I use mostly for when I'm playing drums and doing stuff, because listening, I do stuff online and everything. And they are kind of like full on cover your
those are
ears,
full on,
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Like gaming headphones, and they
Because
work
Ron
better.
told
They work
me,
better for that.
Ron said, "Why don't you just play lower?"
No, can't do that. That's
That's
why
his answer.
that's why I have electronic kits, so I can play where it's not, I can control the volume and it sounds like a produced version of the drums, and you just figure out the parts with that and then move on to the acoustic when you actually want to go play it.
It's like my Synsonic. That's what I do.
Synsonic?
Joey,
Sonic drum.
yeah, I know.
I was a
That's old.
spokesperson for that.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
was.
those.
Yeah.
Do,
I
do,
was.
do, do, do,
I
do, do.
used to go to like department stores and do in-stores promoting my Derringer and the Peace record. I'd play it through a PA and I'd play on the Synsonics to it.
So I got to ask you, Carm, because you're such a legend and everything. I mean, I just happened to bring that up, but now that you're talking about it, did some of your cohorts, the purists, say, "What are you doing with this thing?"
No, because I didn't play it like drums. I used to like it in my in different shows. I used to do clinics in some of my shows where I did a disappearing drum solo, and when I come back with a Synsonic playing through some reverb and delays on a wireless, right? And then I would come on the stage and I'd throw it up in the air and it's still playing and spinning. And when
Okay.
it comes down, as soon as I catch it, all the sound stops. It was
Like
a
a
great
special effect kind of a thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I gave one to Prince when he was when I
Really?
lived in the house that he lived in sometimes.
Problem
And,
was the department store show; those were in the women's department.
Ladies lingerie.
Lingerie.
Right.
Carmine,
Underwear.
Carmine, you had electronic drums inside of acoustic drums, right?
yeah, I had the Syn
Oh, yeah.
drums, the Syn
Yeah,
drums.
syndromes. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Syn
Syn
drums. Wow.
Drum.
Unfortunately, they're broken, and nobody has schematics and can fix them. So I'd really
right.
like to get them fixed. Anyone out there knows how to fix a syndrome, let me know.
I'll get them. We'll get the Ludwig people or something to do it.
Nah,
Joe, you
it's not
talked about you talked a little bit just now about the covers. I'm sure you're referring to incredible renditions of Blue Oyster Cult's "Burning for You." Incredible rendition
Thank
of
you.
Ramones' "Pet Cemetery."
Thank you.
Freaking, you guys gotta listen to these renditions. But they're cover tunes, which is really cool. There was a time that cover tunes, on bands of your level may or may not have been something you would have done, but there's more of that happening. Smiley, I saw from an interview that you're a big proponent of doing cover tunes as it pertains to the development of young players. Like you're when a lot of people say you should just work on your own style, don't try to emulate anybody. Some of your advice has been, do different cover tunes.
Well, when I get asked by various parents, what shall I do with my 17-year-old kid as a drummer? What I tend to tell them is get them into a covers band, because what I used to do is, back in my kind of late teens, I was in about 10 different covers bands. And how I approached it, rather than just playing 30 songs a night, I played 30 songs as 30 drummers. So if I did a Zeppelin song, I would be John, and then we'd do a Beatles song, so I'd be Ringo. And I tried to morph into that drummer for each song. So by the end of a couple of years of doing that, I kind of had stolen everybody's style. And then I just kind of took my favourite bits and tried to create my style. You're all in there, by the way. Right. You're all in those styles.
That's cool. That's cool.
Well, I mean, look at me. We made it on the cover song that's still going.
Yep.
And Carmine, we redid that song, your version of that song. We did it.
You did?
Yeah, we put it on our
wow.
EP.
Oh, nice.
I tried to follow it as much as I could the way you originally recorded it, but I added a few little extra things. And my brother did a great vocal on that.
Cool.
Yeah, real
I know.
big, huge backing
We
vocal.
talked about this before when I played with Rod. Rod said, "Oh man, I love the way you guys did Hanging On. I would have loved to done it." I said, "Well, let's do it." And we ended up doing it. And I'll never forget when I was in the studio with him and he said, "Set me free." And that voice, I was in there actually helping produce the vocal.
So you actually recorded it?
Yeah, it's on
Rod
Footloose and Fancy Free.
Wow, that's
It is?
Yeah.
I
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
we used to do it live. It was awesome. Live, he'd come up to me with the mic. He'd hold it like that, and he'd set me free. And I'd go, and I'm going da 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 da.
Wow.
Oh no,
Is this
that's
That's a
the
Vanilla
stereo.
Fudge.
That's the stereo one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is
stereo.
You got to move it up. You got to move it up to hear the stereo.
I think that's the next
Thank you.
next band name, are the Leslies. I love that band name.
How did you get that song in the movie? The
They just
Tarantino
called
movie.
us. They just called us.
That's
okay.
awesome.
Yeah, we're doing now. We're mixing "Stop in the Name of Love" with the original band. We got Tim on it before he passed away.
Okay.
And Pat Regan's mixing it, and I should be getting it. I was supposed to get it last night, and I still didn't get it. But we want to release it, and that'll be the last recording of the original band that ever done. And it's 54 years later to the month.
Wow.
So we release it next year, next month.
Joey, you love the hat. love
Yeah,
your
good hat.
look. I love your look. And when someone talks about Lizzie Borden, you try to describe Lizzie Borden, you're talking about it's kind of a combination of a Deep Purple and Kiss and Alice Cooper and Black Sabbath. And when I see your look, Ben, do you have one of the pictures? I just love this guy's freaking look because I've tried to. That's it. So I've tried to do that, and I'm trying to emulate that. And a lot of people confuse me for you, Joey. I'm like, it ain't me.
Maybe a little taller.
Oh, man.
Yes.
You're getting good at this, Ron.
Look at that.
Look at that. Wow.
Nice.
Actually, I have a Lizzie Borden tribute show that those guys' girlfriends are in. We call it Leslie Borden. So it's
Nice.
hey, 4 drummers. I can't get one rim shot. Are you freaking kidding me?
I might have got it.
Hold on.
Carmine's in the rim shot department there. Yeah, right.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Hey, I'll be here all week long.
Unfortunately, I will. Smiley, another thing that I thought was really interesting because, again, we talk about other, especially with drummers, we talk about heroes and icons and who you emulate after. And we've heard, of course, Gene Krupa. We've heard just all of them, that Buddy Rich, of course, and those kind of guys. But when you're asked about that, you're talking about, you love the Wrecking Crew, the LA band that recorded hundreds. Everybody knows that. And that's a really cool perspective.
I just think you need to go a little bit deeper. I think when I was kind of growing up, it was always the obvious drummers that everybody talks about, and I'm sure we're all the same. You go through phases, don't you, of styles. If you look back at how you set your kit up, and then I kind of went through the 80s liking kind of Simon Phillips and Mel Gaynor and Mark Zicki and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I went back to obviously the rock gods who are in front of me, and people like Bonham and Keith Moon and Ringo and Charlie Watts and Mitch Mitchell, and then went again and kind of went into the Wrecking Crew because I think it was more about the songs, and suddenly you realise how Blaine especially, no one knew who he was. No one knew his name. But
Right.
the guy's on more songs than anybody ever because he played for the song. He just he knew his piece of the jigsaw, and I think he's the biggest exponent of that. And if you look at any classic record, the drummer is that perfect piece in the jigsaw, and I think he's the perfect example.
Well, I tell you think about the Swampers and Muscle Shoals. You think about the Funk Brothers. You think about all those. It's an incredible, mind-blowing perspective on music. You talk to bands. We've had 1 hit, 3 hits, 5 hits. Those guys, I played on 47 number ones. I played on 83 number. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, that stuff seeps into your pores, and you don't even realize it's in your subconscious because you're hearing it on the hit songs you hear every day, or you turn on a TV show, Hawaii Five-0 or whatever. You hear all these guys, and it literally seeps into your subconscious. And you're looking at the stars that are out there, and the drummers that the big drummers that you're looking at of the day. But then you have these other guys, unsung heroes that seep into your consciousness, and they make your drumming evolve.
Yeah, the guy for today now is Kenny Arnoff. He does all that.
Yep,
stuff.
Kenny Arnoff. Yep,
incredible.
Vinny Caliuta.
And Greg Bissonette, those guys, they do all that.
So what do you guys think, Joey? Let me start with you. As far as the current, I mean, you're obviously heavy metal. Smiley, you're a little bit more on the punk side of things, especially on the Alarm side. Anyway,
Wait, Ron, can I interfere 1 minute?
Please.
Why do they call you Smiley?
Look at him.
I'll let you work that one out. Okay, I've got the greatest job in the world, same as you. You're always smiling. No? I just haven't got hair like you.
I don't smile. I make funny faces. Vinny makes the funniest faces when he.
Hey, watch it. I'm starting to smile now.
Yes, look at him.
All right,
How can you not smile doing what we do for a living? Seriously, come on.
I smile after I'm done.
You talk about the people that we get to talk to, like Joey Scott, like Smiley Barnard. We got a little commercial about who we got coming up next week. Ben, play Carmine's masterpiece, please.
Oh, my masterpiece. Hey, it's Carmine Peace here for Hangin' and Bangin'. May 27th, we've got Darlene Love, Paul Schaefer, That's right, Paul Schaefer, right? See him every night on TV. Anyway, we got those guys May 27th, Hanging and Banging on Artists on Lockdown with me, my brother Vinny, and Ron Anesti. So come check it out. You can check it out at Artists on Lockdown on Facebook or Comment at Peace Official on Facebook. We'll be there and rocking. So be there, be square. We'll see you later, all right?
Hey, this is Vinny Appice here, and I'm sitting here listening to my CDs. Oh, wait a minute, 78s, I guess. They don't sound too good. Anyway, on May 27th, we have on Hangin' and Bangin', Paul Schaefer from the David Letterman Show and the world's most dangerous band. And we also have singing sensation Darlene Love. So check it out. That's May 27th at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Hangin' and Bangin', Artists on Lockdown. Check it out. Thank you. Bye.
Now, you couldn't tell that Vinny was reading that script, could you?
I couldn't get this. I'm having trouble with
Hey
that
guys,
CD
Ron
player.
Onesti from Hangin'
Oh,
and Bangin'
no!
with you. And I'm here to tell you about one of my favorite TV
Look at
shows
this
of all
guy.
time, The David Letterman Show. And one of my favorite parts of that show is when Dave would do his top 10 list. Well, let me give you my top 10 reasons why I loved The David Letterman Show. Reasons 1 through 5. For 33 years, he had Paul Schaefer, the legend, the icon, as his musical director. And my top 6 to 10 reasons why I love The David Letterman Show, because the legendary Darlene Love, for 29 years, sang Christmas at Christmas time, a great tradition. So May 27th, Thursday, on Hangin' and Bangin', 6 p.m. Central, we've got them both on our show. Darlene Love and Paul Schaefer joining my top 2 reasons why you should watch Hangin' and Bangin' each week. And that's Carmine Apice and Vinny Appice, my brothers who join me on the show. So we'll see you Thursday, May 27th, 6 p.m. Paul Schaefer, Darlene Love, Hangin' and Bangin'. So...
Wow!
Man. My God, that looks like one of those pharmaceutical commercials. You know? Put the shit underneath. May cause drowsiness.
Yeah.
May cause death.
Yeah. Look at this guy walking with the camera. Holy shit.
Where was that, Ron? Where was that?
Is that your house?
That's my house.
Nice.
So
I gotta do one outside my house.
So, you know, these guys, we're trying to one up each other, guys. You haven't.
I suggest let's let Ron do them from now on.
No, I like the way you had that thing. It was like putting one of those megaphones or something on your ear, Vinny. Like
actually, I've done that. It comes off, and I can hear everything. Hello. I'm bringing it on the plane too.
Hello. So I was going before, Joey. What do you guys think, and Smiley? What do you guys think about the current atmosphere, I guess, of either the punk community, punk rock, the new bands, you know, punk or heavy metal? What do you think? Is that happening? Is it a thing that we're in danger of? You see it really, really focusing on some of the old into the new?
Personally, I think it's just we're in an inflection point with evolution. You see all these really young kids learning at a really young age, and they're getting really good quickly. So that's that next generation is gonna be really, really technically on top of it, and that's gonna change everything. Because in the past, rock and roll, you just learn how to do a beat and you start a band and you just do it, and it all sort of comes together. And you know, most people were self-taught and everything, but now they're going to school of rock. They're getting all this really good education in music, and they're getting theory and all this stuff. So I think the next generation is going to be pretty completely different. We're not even going to recognize it. But I think in general, we'll still look back and go, you know, when they're playing their music, we'll be like, ours was better.
Yeah, of course. How about you, Smiley? What's it like in the UK with the upcoming bands?
Well, it's not that kind of thriving. But to go back on your point, Joey, when you talk about going back, I recently did an album with Colour Sound, which is Billy Duffy from The Cult and Mike Peters from The Alarm. And my kind of requisite for the album was go back and learn proper rock drumming. And so I went on YouTube for a couple of weeks, and it was YouTube Brothers I went straight back to, bizarrely. Look at you in front of me.
Yeah.
And this is my point. I had to go back to the classic, and that's what I'm talking about. All these drummers now who can do things with one hand that we probably can't do with three, they won't use it. They'll go back to using the old school way, which was like set in stone. And so, I think everybody's got to look back to look forward to drummers, because all the greatest drummers are there in stone, man,
I think that the most important thing is having the feel.
Yes,
And the soul.
exactly.
That's why you guys are mentioning the Wrecking Crew and Hal Blaine. It's all feel. Not
what's funny?
The technique is great, but if you get up and do a whole bunch of techniques, nobody's going to be grooving to it. They're going to go, wow. But you groove.
There was a guy on that Vanilla Fudge YouTube. He said, "Man, this music's got so much soul, great soul. Not like the music today. The music today really sucks." He said. And I'm only 24 years old.
I thought you were older than that.
Well, how much do you guys think? I mean, an obvious perspective here is the fact that current technology, is that helping the art or is it hurting the art?
Depends how you use it.
I think people are coming up with creative ways to do things. They're using the technology in creative ways to come up with new types of ways to approach things, and it's really kind of like,
look what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly, and you kind of have to open your mind up when you're thinking about this stuff, because some of it seems like, oh, that's just going to make it all sterile and everything, but in some of the ways that they're doing things, they're sampling old music and introducing it and doing mashups of things, and all that stuff. It seeps into the consciousness of the young people that are coming up, and they hear that, and that kind of evolves music along. So it's, but I think people, some of the young kids today, they're into the older stuff. They're like, they're not listening to they're going back and listening to the stuff from the 70s, especially.
Absolutely.
And and I talk to young, drummers, young girls and stuff, and they're like, oh, I play, I like to play old Rolling Stones, the first album, and I like to play, all these really old songs. And it's like, oh, wow, okay. Cool. Yeah. And so, I mean, you never know. You never know what inspires these young kids. But I don't know. I think it's always, when I was younger, I was thinking what we were doing was cool and everything. And the older people were like, you don't know what you're doing there. That's not like what we did, and like Buddy Rich, when I used to go see him play, he's like, cut your hair. What are you doing? He goes, you gotta practice every day. You're not gonna be anything unless you practice every day. I'm like, oh man.
Well, he never practiced.
I know. Well, his thing was he played constantly.
He was magic. Nobody played like that. Left hand.
Me and Vinny met him one time and smoked a joint with him at the Starwood, and it was the funniest thing because the situation came up. I thought he was mad at me, and his daughter said, "Oh, he's not bad. Come on in." And I heard that bus tape. You guys hear the bus tape where he's cursing out?
Yep.
So she said, "Come in and say hi to Buddy." I said, "I'm not going in there. I heard the bus tape." So she goes, "Come on." So I said to Vinny, "Come on, you come with me." So we go in.
I'll protect you.
Yeah. So we go in there, and he goes. She calls him Buddy. Buddy, here's that drummer that was going to do the thing. Oh, you mean to want to challenge me to a drum battle? I said, no, I didn't do that, And I told him the story. He goes, that's it? I go, yeah. He goes, you smoke? I said, no, I don't smoke. He goes, you smoke? I said, no, I don't smoke. After the third time, do you smoke? I said, what do you mean, pot? I said, yeah, I smoke pot. So he reaches in his pocket. Remember, Vinny? Whips out a chocolate paper rolled joint with chocolate paper. He lit it. I took a hit. He hands it to me. He took a hit. I'm going, I'm smoking a joint with Buddy Rich. I can't believe this. I hand it to Vinny. He's thinking the same thing. And then he goes out and plays, and me and him got so fucked up stoned. And Buddy is playing his butt off. And we're going, how's he doing that?
We're standing there going, duh. I wish I had a cookie or something, and he's his
it's like smoking up with Willy Wonka. I mean,
holy
who does it with a chocolate paper?
Amazing.
Yeah, I used to go to Disneyland and see him at the Carnation Theater.
That's right.
And one time he got off and he went back in the little partitioned area back there, and I was walking back there. I wanted to get my thing signed and everything, and the thing was open a little bit, so I snuck in. Man, was he giving it to the trombone player? He's screaming at him. He's going, you're just an idiot. He's freaking out, and then all of a sudden he comes out, hey, how you doing? How's it going? Like everything's calm. I'm like, holy crap, this kid's crying.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Wow.
That's funny.
That's why I didn't want to go in there alone.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he
Gotta go in
was
security.
known as a tough guy, man. Even Kathy says,
Yeah,
it was something growing up.
I
with
got
him.
to know him, after that, and we were actually friends. I went to his house, and when he had the heart attack, or the I guess he had a brain tumor that, he fainted after a gig, and his whole left side was thing. He was really.
In his
It's
book,
really
he
sad.
fell in the street in New York too. He
Did he?
fell, just fell.
I
from
went
the
to his
brain
funeral,
tumor.
and all the guys were there. Frank Sinatra, Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin, all those guys were there. It was unbelievable, but he was an amazing guy. Amazing.
He was the
drummer.
best.
Unbelievable. He's definitely the best there ever was. The natural.
By
Who-
a long way as
Car-
well.
Carmine, of the two drummers, Gene Krupa, Buddy Rich, who did you lean towards?
Well, I started with Gene Krupa because my mother used to tell me how great he was. So I kind of got both of them. I did some of the fast stuff like Buddy, and then I did all the showmanship from Gene. I wanted to be the Gene Krupa of rock. I've cheesed it to a point, but I never had that hit single. But when we do the drum wars thing, Vinny's more like the Buddy Rich, and I'm more like the Gene Krupa.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a great show, man. And I love when you two legends are on the stage at the same time. Joey, you've been. I see some of your other recordings, and you've got. As we're all getting older, and bands are breaking up due to losing, members or just retiring, and it looks like you guys are starting to bring a little bit more of. I see more of the legends. Our buddies like Dave Medichetti from Y&T or George Lynch from Doc and Lynch Mob.
Yep.
Are you guys gonna be looking to do more of that?
Oh yeah. That was really fun too on that record. I grew up going to the Starwood when I was like 14. They would sneak me in there, and I was there with the monitor smashed up against my chest, watching Dave Medichetti sweat over me, and all those bands, Y&T, and Eddie Van Halen, the Van Halen brothers. And Snow with Carlos Cavazzo and Ola Cart, who never got their due. But I was there every weekend, watching every show and everything. It was amazing back then. So we kind of wanted to go back and pull from that, the people that influenced us and inspired us. And George Lynch, he played in his band at the time at the Starwood.
Great one.
He threw up in his first show, but
That's George.
That sounds like George.
Yep. But it was fun. It was fun.
And we wish our buddy Donnie Dockin getting well, man. Just really hope he gets better too. Smiley, I'm going to go back a couple years here because one of the things, kind of a semi-feature, I talk about some of my favorite album names, song names, or band names, and one of my favorite is one of yours, the Mock Turtles.
Right.
What was that all about?
The Mock Turtles were a kind of Manchester band back in the early 90s. And they were kind of my first break. Because I was kind of playing covers bands, but I was kind of driving a van the day. And they had one big hit, which was called Can You Dig It? And it was on the radio every day, and I used to sing along, think, this is the perfect song. And then one of these gigs I was doing one night, they happened to be there because they were in London doing Top of the Pops.
Wow.
And they were at the bar, and I was playing, and I famously went in the gents at half time doing what you do, and their producer came in and said, "Oh, you're impressing some rather important people." And I said, "Oh, who?" And he said, "Oh, the Mock Turtles." And I said, "Oh, no, man, I watched them on Top of the Pops last night." And he said, "I'll come and meet them." And I went and met them, and they were all in the same clothes from the day before. I said, "You're wearing the same clothes." They said, "Oh, yeah, we haven't been to bed. We've been up for 2 nights celebrating." And that was it. I think it took about a year to join them, but I got it in the end. It was great. Still in touch with them. Yeah, great band.
So how
Good
cool
story.
is that when you've got an icon or a band that you love so much, and then innocently they come to you. That's why you're called Smiley, I think, right?
Well, I think if you've ever been a fan of a band and then you get like the Alarm, I was always a fan back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So when I finally joined them, that was you pick them apart, don't you? You sit and you're still a fan, but you just kind of you're kind of you can ask the questions that fans can't because you've got the time on tour. Plus, kind of you
Right.
can ask them subtly as well.
That's what a cool thing that is. Joey, and I hope I'm okay in touching on this subject because it's it's tough. But you and your brother, you start this band and you create a family atmosphere, and you're working with a lot of guys, and you've had tragedy. Alex, Corey, Tony,
Yep.
you've lost these guys,
Yep.
and beside the obvious, I guess the question is, how did those losses affect you guys as a band?
It's tough. It was
I
tough. Because they were literally all like family. Because we kind of create this environment where we're all just together, a band of brothers, and I don't know. Once you get going and you're touring, and it just instead of looking at it like it's just drudging through this and trying to make it through, you're looking at it. Let's have the most fun we can do doing what we're doing, and be as happy as we can about what we're doing. And like you say, Alex, he was one of those guys where he was like the ringleader. He would say, okay, we're going to do this show. Then we're going to go and talk to the fans. We're going to say, and then we're going to go out on the town and we're going to do this and that. And we're going to go all over the place. And he used to drag us around sightseeing and stuff. And we just had the best time though. We were just like, it was just a big having fun the whole time. And, it's tough when they go, especially tragically like him and Corey did. It's tough. You kind of have to just, I don't know. But to look back of all the stuff that he did and all that he created, and he was Alex was such a genius musician. I mean, he literally could play any instrument. He had a photographic memory. So, when we were on the road, he would remember someone's email address, or he'd remember their address or their phone number in the middle of nowhere. It's like, how do you remember this stuff? And we were doing a record one time, and somebody said, why don't we put a sitar on this?
Wow.
And well, we got to find somebody that plays a sitar. And he goes, I'll do it. And so we rented one. He literally took the night to learn it. The next morning he had it down and he played it perfect. And he figured it out. Yeah. He was just one of those guys. He could play every instrument. Really, really smart guy. Like genius intellect. It was sad. But you kind of, a lot of it, my brother will, he writes the lyrics, so he'll incorporate it into songs, and that's sort of, catharsis for him, putting it out there, those kinds of things. But yeah.
Well, hats off, a toast to those guys, especially.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Really incredible. Smiley, you got you're part of the Alarms box set. Is that a tour? The box set's coming out in June, I think. It's 40th anniversary. Is that
What we're doing this year? Well, we just put a new album out, which Mike Peters decided that he saw the White House Trump. I can't remember how you would describe it, but that day, shall we call it? And Mike decided the next day he wanted to write an album about it in 30 days. Not just write it, record it, and put it out within 30 days. So when he phoned me the next morning, I said, that's a genius idea, man. How many songs have you got? He said, none. I haven't started yet. I'm going to start this afternoon. And we did it. We did it between three separate... the bass player producer was in the north of England, Mike was in Wales, and I was here south of London. We didn't meet each other once. We did it from our own studios, and we put the album out 30 days called War.
What's the name of it?
War.
What's the name of the album?
War?
Yeah. Check
Wow.
it out. It's a great album, and it's all about American politics and Mr. Trump.
Oh, man, we have enough of that over here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a great spin on it, though. Trust me. So no, it's So I think we're going to bring that out on the road next year. Okay. You're all
I'll tell you
invited.
what, if you bring that on the road in America, that I really want to see what those numbers are going to be like with those shows. You think a Lizzie Borden show is crazy?
You might
That
have to
is
get
gonna
that
be-
chicken wire in front of
Yeah.
it.
Like they did in, what was it? Is it Animal House or not Animal House? Blues Brothers when they're
Blues
throwing
Brothers,
the bottles.
chicken
in
Yeah,
the-
yeah,
You got-
yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, listen. Hats off, Joey's. Hats off to you because that's an interesting topic, man. These days, I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's brave. That's pretty bold. So,
Yeah.
but that's rock
It's
and
a-
roll,
it's a
right?
brilliant-
Rock and roll is bold and brave.
That's right. But well, everybody gets inspired by something, don't they? So it was trust me, it wasn't a pro-Trump thing at all.
Yeah, it's
So
so
don't worry.
it's so funny here now. You get on the phone and you talk about something that's going on, and you go like either you mention Biden or you mention Trump, and then there's a silence
Yeah.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see whether if you're a Biden guy, you can't talk to the Trump guy,
Yeah.
And
Hey, there's
Yeah, it's-
Biden calling Congress
Yeah.
right now. Look at that shit.
hello, Joe. Joe, I shut the damn phone off too.
Not so much, I don't
Shut the
think.
volume.
Hey, he's
I
the
shut
president.
volume.
He can get through anything.
Even shut off phones.
That's true.
Do you guys see?
You guys it must be Smiley making us laugh so much on this one.
Well, you know what? Do you understand that Smiley is referred to in England as the hardest working drummer in the UK?
Oh, really?
I'll take that. I'll take that.
There you go.
It's out there.
Who
I mean,
told you?
beside the Sunshine Studio, I mean, you're doing a lot of writing, you're doing a lot of recording.
Is that your
Yeah.
studio in your house? Is that your home studio?
Yeah, I've got studios. So I've been. The great thing about being in lockdown for the last year was that I kind of was a bit embarrassed because I was actually really busy. So there was so many musicians who weren't working.
Yeah.
I just came off the road and kind of went straight in the studio and did sessions for people remotely and produced and wrote, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think all three of us did the same
Yeah.
thing, except Vinny built my system for me because he's a computer geek, and now it's awesome.
I think most musicians did. I think they found everybody just came off the
Yeah.
road, didn't they? Really,
Yeah.
There was I remember the day that they announced that kind of COVID hit us big time. We were all on tour in Europe, and we all got sent home. Basically, it was like every man for themselves, get home as soon as you can. And the following day, we flew into Heathrow, and everywhere you looked, you could see musicians coming from every different terminal. Everybody was moving
my
in,
God.
and everybody literally just got back, and they shut the gates.
Holy
That was it.
shit.
Amazing. I remember that.
All depressed, dragging their guitar cases on the ground behind them, like Charlie Brown. And
what
the
about
guy,
Ron? Ron had us every day booked at his theater every day.
Wow.
Every
Had to
day.
blow it all.
Wow.
I read your schedule. It said so and so canceled, rescheduled for this day.
Oh, I had to move. I
Like
had
Ted
to move
Nugent 3 times. You had 2 nights with Ted Nugent 3 times.
So not only did I had to move in my venues 110 shows, but each one of those shows from 2 to 6 times I had to move them.
Yeah.
Let's June. No, let's go to August. Okay, let's go to September. Paul Anka won't even talk to me anymore. I had to change him 6 times. And he's pissed off anyway. So what's the difference?
You
Well,
should
he's
see
kinda
here
old. Six times is a lot when you're his age.
here in Vegas to see that strip go dark is the most eerie, bizarre thing.
Yeah, that's
I
gotta
bet.
be a
We
trip.
That's
we
like
drove
New
over
York.
there.
It's like
Yeah,
New
we
York
dr-
City.
We drove over there and just went, what the heck? It's never been dark. It's the first time in
We
history.
went to New York a couple of months ago and went to Broadway.
Oh.
Same thing.
It's like we're living like in those like a Terminator movie or something, or like a
Yeah.
Bruce
Yep.
Willis
Yeah.
movie.
Escape from New York.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Everybody
dystopian.
has.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's coming back. I'm really, really excited about it because at least in Illinois, which has been very, very tough, it looks like July will come. We're going to come back. So I'll be calling
Good.
each and every one of you, man. We got to get the alarm. We got to get Lizzie
Yeah.
Borden. We got to get everybody back on stage.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You
I was just at the Chicago Drum Show, and people were mask free. Everyone's
Oh, yeah.
walking around, and they're like,
Yeah.
at
all
the
good.
Odeum.
Yep.
I went
was
in the
good.
post office yesterday. I walk in with my
We
mask
went to a
on.
restaurant last night and nobody had masks.
Yeah, I went
Staff
to the
didn't have
post
masks
office.
either. That
I
was
walk
great.
in with the mask on. I see the two tellers over there. I said, "Oh, I forgot. I took it off." Went to the grocery store, no mask. What about England? What about
We're
England?
still on the cusp. We're still, I think, within the kind of shops and places like that, we wear it. But
Have
people in
you
the
had a
street,
shot? Have you had a shot?
yeah, I've had one. I'll get my second one next week.
What is it? What'd you get?
Astra.
Leicester? What's Leicester?
AstraZeneca.
Alustra.
AstraZeneca, so that's the one you get
Did
twice.
you hear what happened to Eric Clapton after he got the second shot?
No, what happened?
Yeah.
Screwed them all up. They don't think he could play guitar again and all
Get
that.
out of here. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
God.
Oh, well,
Hey,
it's
Leslie.
Cow.
She knows about it.
Wow.
Really?
Terrible.
He had
Okay.
some nerve thing, and
Yeah.
then when he got the second shot, it kind of
Wow.
fried his nerves or something, and he was
Whoa.
saying he might not be able to play.
Oh, don't say that.
What's
Put
the
my
name of
Monday.
the one
That's
he got?
true.
Eric Clapton. What's the disease he had? Neuropathy. Is that
Wow.
right?
The hell is that?
It's a nerve disease, and then he got the
Wow.
shot, and it screwed him up.
Wow.
That's brutal.
Poor guy.
You know, the downside of losing the mask, I've been going to a restaurant relatively every other night, and for the last year or so, and this young lady who's been taking care of us, and she took the mask off yesterday. I'm like, man, oh man, I wish she'd keep that on. But that's a whole nother story.
What'd you say?
It was
I wish you
brutal.
put it back.
I was like, no! So that's the downside of losing the
God.
mask. Do
Yeah, can you put the mask
Sorry.
back on, please?
I know, would you mind? I'm very sensitive to COVID. No, to COVID? No, your face! All right, anyway.
It's making me sick.
I'm trying to eat over here.
Killing me.
All right, anyway.
Oh
Anyway,
my God.
Hey,
you
pretty
guys, you know-
soon, Ron's gonna have to book himself at his theater.
No,
Yeah, he's got
no,
a
no.
whole show himself.
No, I don't. Stop
From
it,
the
these
golf
guys.
course all the way, that
Yep.
commercial.
The mini golf course. I get it. I know where you're going here.
You know it.
You
You know what's coming.
I know, Joey. What do you got coming up now? I mean, now that we're starting to come out, I know you got some new material coming out.
New material we're working on. We're about halfway done. This new record's going to be something like we've never done before. It's epic, is all I can say. The drums, especially, and it's just different. We're trying to do, we're trying to incorporate new technologies and new things and try to evolve and make something different. But we still are keeping our, the heavy, the metal kind of feel roots. Yeah, we can't let that go. But we're trying to evolve and trying to look at new ways to perspectives to look at things. And I've personally been getting into really hardcore producing and especially with drums, looking at details and how to make things sound just a little bit different, but still a little bit old. And there's so many things that when you look back at some of the past, like the Funk Brothers and stuff like that, they used to do stuff, with the tape, cutting the tape and all this stuff, just to change how things felt, how you feel when you hear a beat, how that makes you feel, pulling it back or moving it forward or whatever, all those little things. And now you can do it at a wave of your hand. You can do stuff and you can experiment and do things and. It's still me playing, but it's, I'm kind of manipulating a little bit and putting a little technology behind it.
You do a lot of punching in on the drum parts?
I do it differently. I do it. Lizzie taught me this way is, you use the playlist and you just go through. And first you go through once where you're just doing like a part. You do like, the first verse. I'll go through that and I'll do a bunch of those. And then I'll go through each piece of the song. And then I'll do full takes with all the vibe and emotion and everything. And I just put these all in different playlists. And then I'll just go through and pick and choose the things I want and pull them in and see how they all fit together and stuff. And I've come up with some cool stuff doing it that way. And also, too, using electronic kit to sort of work things out really helps because you're hearing a final product, right? After it's, normally in a mix, you put in the EQ and all this stuff and everything. But with the electronics, it's right there, ready to go, And so I can manipulate things a lot quicker with electronics and play it through and get the vibe that I want and get it sort of structured the way I want, and then I'll jump over on the acoustic kit and just start laying it down. And it's cool. It's fun. It's fun for me. It's fun. I like getting into technology and different things, different ways to do things.
It's gonna be cool to see that live. And let me ask all you guys the same question. Like last night I had a little something at my venue for our regular customers, and it was so like emotional, and people just love the music. As fans, they just can't wait to get back. Do you think that I'm thinking that as you guys as performers are probably going to play the best sets of your lives when you get back?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
not at your place.
Well, I'm used to that from you, but the rest of the guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally.
I mean, even there was somewhere we went and they had this little band sitting there, and it was like all these people gathered around. They're like, live music, live music.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're like freaking out.
Well, people don't. We know that the fans, but people don't realize that it's as intense and amazing for you guys as performers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
How about you, Smiley?
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day when I was doing a video in here for the Guitars box set that's coming out and another Cactus video, and I was saying, God, I'm so sick of playing in front of nobody.
Yeah. Yep. It's wild.
Ron, I think the big difference would be that all the musicians would have nothing to moan about anymore. About kind of the rider and the bus and the sound check. They'll just be lined up ready to sound check 2 hours before, and they'll be grateful because there's 2 sandwiches and riders,
Well, that's the thing. For guys in my position in this equation, it's going to be awesome because I'll be like, you're complaining? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right.
Excuse me? What?
But I don't want this.
You know what the alternative is?
That's funny.
No more green M&Ms. You want green M&Ms? Excuse me? You're complaining, right?
Ron, just quickly, I had a great story. I was recording at Rack Studios last week with a band called Archive, and we were in Studio 3, and the Rolling Stones had Studio 1 and 2 at the same time. So I asked the engineer, I said, what's Charlie like? And they said, they all get their rider request, and on Charlie's rider, the only thing he put was a wooden coat hanger, so that he could, take his jacket off. And apparently, he walked in, he took his jacket off, and he hung it on his cymbal stand.
But
that's the way to do it.
One, Charlie.
Watch and learn, kids. Watch and learn.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
You know what? That could be another show on all the riders. I'll give you guys some insight, what you guys put me through.
That'd be funny. That'd be a good idea, actually.
Yeah, there was one, I think it was like Neil Sedaka or somebody. There were 6 pair of black socks. And I'm like, what the? And they're running all over. I'm like, where are the socks? If it's on the rider, it's easier. Give the Joey Scotts, the Carmine Pieces of the world, just give them the freaking socks, right? So I finally said, Neil, I said, why would you need socks? I don't need socks. I just want to make sure that you read the rider. Like,
yeah.
A lot of people do that. We did that. We put 4 blondes and a brunette, and they have to be in the dressing room when we show. Because we put it on there. We just wanted to see if they were reading it.
Cool. And the other side of that is we gave them that. There were 4 blonde guys and 1 brunette guy.
Yeah, right.
Ginger Baker.
And with that,
Ginger Baker had us on his rider when we played with the Cream. He had 2 cases of beer and 2 hookers.
Yeah.
And the rider.
Back then, that was easy.
Yeah,
I know. That was the backstage staff. Instead of making sandwiches, just go in his room. Hey guys, on that note, I want to thank you guys very much. Joey Scott from Lizzie Borden,
Yeah, Joey.
Smiley Barnard.
Thanks for filling in, Joe. Appreciate it, Joe.
No problem.
Thanks,
Thank
Joey.
you.
I'll see you at the wedding.
Lovely to meet you, kids. Lovely to meet you.
See you at the wedding.
Thanks
Yeah,
again, you
good to meet
guys. Make sure everybody, you share, you check us out on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, on Spotify is on our what do you call that thing? Our podcast. Thank you very much. We got a lot going on here at Artists on Lockdown, Hanging and Banging each week, Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for joining us here at Rock and Roll Heaven. We will see you next week on our way to our 52nd, our 1-year anniversary, our 52nd episode. Once again, thank you all so much. Make sure you subscribe. Tell all your friends about Artists on Lockdown, Hanging and Banging. We'll see you next week right here, Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central on Artists on Lockdown, Hanging and Banging.